Hello, all. Stacy, the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to Divinely Decked Tarot and Oracle Reviews done Stacy style. And today we are going to be exploring the Witchy Tarot. This is a Lo Scarabeo deck by Laura Tuan, artwork by Antonella Platano. And this deck has been around for a while. This is, I thought I had ordered actually one of the originals, a used copy, but it came new. So I must have misunderstood, but I'm all right with it. We're going to take a peek and see what happens. I was really excited. One night I was bored and, just doing my usual, eBay kind of search and checking out what is out there, what's available. And the imagery on this just kind of struck me. And I don't have a lot of decks that I want to say are very on the nose witchy. I don't identify as a Wiccan or anything like that. So typically I'm not always drawn to that. I do have the Witches Tarot, which is interesting. And I have the Wizards Tarot. That's Witches Tarot is Megan. Oh, I forget her last name, Megan something or other. And the Wizards Tarot is Barbara Moore. So I do have some decks that are like that. But when I saw this, it just called to me. And I thought, let's just kind of check it out. So it is made in the EU. It is a Lo Scarabeo, which we always know is going to be quality. It is published through Llewellyn. It says it's a beautiful, elegant, and rebellious. The teen witches walk among us. So, I do really like a lot of that, teen fan fiction, youthful artistry, youthful energy. So reading that, it kind of doesn't surprise me that I would be drawn to something like this. So, of course, it comes in a tuck box or a cigarette box. Not my favorite, not a fan. And already I can see that it's the deck itself is packed up like in a cigarette pack, which I also don't really care for. Just because, it can sometimes damage the decks, although this one looks like it's pretty decent. I should be able to just kind of pull it loose without having to cut through it. So, but we'll see what happens. It does have it looks like it's got a guidebook here. Let's just take a look at that actually first. So with Lo Scarabeo, you're always going to get, 3 or 4 different languages. So the book looks bigger than it actually usually is. So it starts off in English here. Looks like it continues in English for a little while, and then we go into the Italian. Let's see if I can figure out what the next one is. Looks like French. And Teen Witch Tarot, and this is in German. So those are the 4 different languages that it comes in. It looks very simple, very basic. The Circle of Witches. So it gives you a little spread to use. Broomsticks are swords. Flames are wands. Boulders are pentacles, and cauldrons are chalices. That's kind of fun that they've switched things up. And it looks like they've got a different character for each of the major arcana as well. So let's take a peek and just sort of see what we got. Again, it just called to me and it felt fun. It felt lighthearted. It felt, a little rebellious, a little, kind of just something unique and different. And I am always all about that. All right, so let's see what we got here. Witchy Tarot. So we've got just kind of a placard to introduce the deck. Ooh, let's check out the backs of the deck. Oh, this is so cool. So first of all, I'm loving the purple. Purple is my jam. It's my signature color. We are seeing the same figure here, sort of reflection, reverse reflection, back to back, and then we're also seeing that reflection mirrored in the card, so it is reversible if a reversal is what you're looking for. The card quality is very much that what you would expect, the Llewellyn or the US Games sort of standard cardstock. It is smaller, like thinner, narrower than a traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, but not so narrow that it's weird. So let's kind of see what comes up here. All right, so we've got the Fool. Oh, very interesting. So what I love about Lo Scarabeo in this format, yes, it's bordered. This is an older deck. So, oh yeah, that's what I wanted to look up too. This was like 1982 or 92, something like that. Let me see if it gives us the publication date, because I was looking at that online. Oh, here we go. Oh, okay. So actually this says 2003. The original one, I believe, was published in the 80s or the 90s. So it's bordered. And then, of course, you've got the 4 different languages that it's sharing it in. So the Fool, El Loco, Il Mato, Le Fou, Bernard, de Doas. Let's see, the Witch. So the magician is the witch. And I love that she's kind of hippie-esque. You know, we have that 1960s, you know, striped bell bottoms sort of look. She's got her recipe scroll here. She's got a cup, she's got a wand, she's got her sword. She's on a tree branch. So all of the elements are reflected here. Let's take a look here. The priestess. So this is the high priestess. And interesting, she's got a snake that she actually has her slippered foot. I think that's cute. Her slippered foot on. So she's stepping on the snake, but she's not stepping on the snake to hurt it. She's just sort of keeping it in place. She's mixing some things up in her cauldron, and she's got her owl, her trusty owl servant, who is, or maybe not servant, just companion, who is giving her information, helping her with the recipe of what it is that she's bringing to light. Here we have the Empress. And this is similar to, I believe, the picture on the card box, as well as the pamphlet. And again, I'm loving these colors, the blues and the purples. We've got these beautiful purple flowers that look like lilies, some form of lily. We have a lot of birds in the background, so as above, so below in a lot of ways. It's interesting with this Empress. Normally we see, you know, the abundance, her in her habitat, in her space. Here we're seeing the witch, and her abundance, I feel, is she's doing some spell work, some inner work, looking at herself. She's got the abundance here. She's taking a bit of a rest. She's reading, the abundance of knowledge. She's got messengers to let her know where she needs to be and when. So I think that's a really interesting depiction. Here we have the Emperor. Oh, very cool. So a little bit futuristic. I always like that. Anything Lo Scarabeo tends to, and almost like a Ciro Marchetti. Now, this is not Ciro Marchetti, but, you know, get a hint of futuristic. The future blends with the nature of the now. Again, I would say as above, so below, that blending. And of course, this makes me think of the Sorting Hat in Harry Potter in the tarot. And of course, we have a raven here as well. So I like that. That's really cool. The Hierophant. So here we see a Merlin-esque man, a Merlin-esque figure. Of course, he's got his warlock hat on. He's sitting crisscross applesauce under the tree, and he's sharing information, you know, sharing wisdom, sharing knowledge. They may even be performing some kind of ritual here. So I like that. Here we have the Lovers card, and ooh, a little scantily clad, and it almost looks like a Halloween party kind of esque energy. People dressing up, play acting, playmaking. There are 3 people here. This person does not look very happy with this one. Getting connected with this witch over here. And here we have the bat. And the bat looks like it's bringing some things. It's sprinkling things into the mix. So I like this depiction because it is indicating, you know, when we talk about the lovers card is about reflection and choices, the choices that we make. It's not always about a love relationship or romantic relationship. But here we've got kind of a, what do you call that? A bizarre love triangle, right? And so what reflections are we receiving as a result of that? We've got the divine masculine and the divine feminine represented here. We've got most of the elements that are represented here as well. And there's a little bit of, okay, what is he going after? He's going after her solar plexus. He's going after where maybe her soul space is. Life force is here. So there's a lot going on here. I feel like getting that in a reading would be a very interesting interpretation. Here we have the Chariot, and I love the Chariot card here. Of course, she is on her broom. She's got her runners on, and she is ready to go. And she's got some assistance from her feathered friends, and she's going above the rooftops. She's going on a little adventure. Here we have Justice. So in this depiction, we have the Justice in place of the Strength card. And I like that she's all in green, so representing or bringing in the heart space, trying to make decisions from a heart-centered space, even though there's a lot of logic and rationality here. The heart doesn't necessarily mean feeling. The heart means the intention behind it. And of course, she's got her familial, again, just like we saw in the High Priestess card. Here we have the Hermit, the 9, and kind of a traditional breakdown of this. Interesting leaves here. It's almost like little bells coming off of this. It feels like really big pine tree branches to me. And the Lantern is here, and he's on a walk. We're not seeing the face fully. We're just seeing the head kind of downturned, but definitely a journey. Here we have the Wheel of Fortune. And so you've got two people being very playful with one another. The one who's jumping on the other one's back, clearly this was unexpected. We have a snake in the background for growth, healing, transformation. We've got an owl, and we've got some grapes in the background as well. Grapes take a lot. They're a little fussy. They take a lot to grow, to get them to grow. So when you see, grapes in the background, there is truly abundance because there was work that went into that, and it's something to really appreciate. Here we have the Strength card, and so this is really interesting. She's got some kind of root that she's holding up, and both of these animals are trying to come at her to get them. And I don't know if she's like lifting it out of their reach, or if she's getting ready to protect herself with it, slamming it down. A very interesting depiction. Normally with the Strength card, it's the you and your familial coming together to tame the beast within. This definitely gives that energy of the beast is external in this depiction. Here we have the Hanged One. And so it's a bat, and you've got these two individuals who are kind of poking at the bat. And sometimes when we are in that Hanged One phase, or that Hanged One energy, I call it the Phoenix growing phase, we don't have a lot of vision. There's not a whole lot of movement. We can feel very stuck. And that's how it can feel. It can feel like the universe is just making fun of us, poking fun at us, kind of poking the lion or poking the bear, so to speak. Here we have Death, the Death card. So Death is also a warlock here. He's got his scythe. He's got a cup of something that he's drinking. The bones are being carried in his on a basket that is strapped to his back. It's interesting. There are purple cups and purple flowers here. So purple is that intuition energy. And so I feel like in this depiction, Death is saying, use your intuition to sense what needs to stay and what needs to go. Sense my return, or sense my approach. Temperance. So this is balance, tolerance, alignment. It's also alchemy. And we're seeing here that she has she's created a concoction feels like she's almost like, I would say, just this is what I have to do with my cutting boards, is I oil my cutting boards to keep them moist, to keep the color in them, to keep them functional. and working well so they don't dull my knives and things of that nature. So it looks like she's treating her broom that she uses on a regular basis. This is a tool for her. It's her transportation to get back and forth. So she's applying a treatment. I think that's interesting. I like all the mushrooms in there and the salamander. Here we have the devil, El Diablo, Il Diavolo. And we've got two individuals that are dancing. They're having fun. This definitely makes me feel more of I want to say, the rebellious side of the devil rather than the shadow, where it's like, you know what, I'm just going to let my hair down. I know I've got a bunch of other things that I got to get done, but I'm letting my hair down today, and I just don't care. I'm just going to do what makes me feel good at this point. The tower, interesting. It is a large pile of rocks. It's not a mountain, but a large pile of rocks that forms this tower. And you have the lightning strike at the top of the tower, where presumably these two individuals were standing on top of the tower, and now they are falling sort of head first down into the ground. I just keep hearing reality check when I'm looking at this card. Reality check. Here we have the stars. And I notice this about anytime I get a European deck, instead of the star card, it's always plural, the stars. And I love that because it also implies that there's more than just one vision. There's more than just one solution or direction or path to explore. So that always kind of makes me feel happy when I see that, for sure. Sorry, I'm just going to move this here. And I love that she's in modern dress, modern clothing. She's got a kitty cat with her who's playing with a little fish. This makes me think of the Page of Cups. And her hat is on the ground because she's being playful in the water. She's blending. She's got some fun ideas, and she's tapping into her feelings and emotions in order to be able to make them come to life. Here we have the moon, and I love that there is a frog on the lily pad here. We have two figures, one each with a dog of a different color, and they are under the light of the moon. So it implies that this is not a solo journey, that there is more than one or two things going on. Also, this is a little, I want to say, might come across as a little stereotypical, but I feel like what they're depicting here is the divine masculine versus divine feminine. And I love that there are two women, and one woman is wearing pants and one woman is wearing a dress. I feel like what they're trying to say here is that, it's not about sex and gender. It is about each of us has the divine feminine and the divine masculine within us. And what are we nurturing? What are we feeding? What are we nursing? And the frog is all about speaking your truth and doing like a spring cleaning of your energy levels so that what you are moving towards is going to be clear, concise, and pure. This is cool. The sun. So here we have this individual on a donkey, and the sun is in the background, and I love all of the orbs and the rays that are coming off of the sun. So definitely a lot of truth here. They're not holding on too tightly. So, maybe feeling a little bit like, oh my God, no hands. Look, Mom, no hands. Maybe there's a bit of trust going on here between this individual and the beast, right? The donkey. A little bit of trust going on here, but also I feel like it's about kind of having some fun. Here we have the Judgment card. Oh, I love this. So they're using the bird's nest to make a concoction, to alchemize something. And there are three of them in collaboration with one another, and the bird looks on. Is the bird happy? Did the bird agree to lending out its nest, or is the bird looking on at individuals who stole his home, and is he plotting something? There's a lot that's coming up here in relation to that card. Here we have the universe. So instead of the world card, we have the universe. We've got some mushrooms. We've got a really cool caterpillar here. We got a creepy spider. We got a beautiful butterfly and an actual fly. And you've got someone, again, that purple energy, so really playful and tapping into the third eye, the intuition, the spidey sense energy. On top of the world, dancing on top of the world, having all of your needs met. Here we have the Ace of Cauldrons, and cauldrons is cups. So I like that it's a frog here. She's kissing a frog. I think that's great. And it looks like there's spaghetti in the cauldron. So cooking dinner, this is an abundance of love. This is an initiation of things. This is always a yes card. And I think it's interesting that I'm thinking about, how many frogs do you have to kiss before you meet your prince? Well, to the witch, the frog is the prince. And, the clearing out, I mentioned before, frogs help us to use our voices and to clear us out so that what we manifest is pure. So 2 of cups, 2 of cauldrons. Here we have a cat, a mouse, an owl. She's got a palm frond that she is putting water back into the earth. And this is typically a card of soulmate energy or connection, union. This energy here actually gives me more of a feeling of choosing a direction, and that her, soulmate companions are around her. So it's not about just her and one other. It's about her and her individual relationships with each of the beings, creatures, people that she connects with and that she is responsible for and to. 3 of cauldrons, 3 of cups. So this looks a little more like that, I want to say that 2 of cups energy, where we're seeing the connection between the two individuals. But typically 3 of cups is a card of celebration. And so maybe there is a little celebration happening here. There's a lot of playful energy. And we have the birds and the mouse that are being able to take advantage of whatever this substance is that she's been cooking up. And she's serving it up for all to enjoy. And it's gold. So I think that's interesting too, serving up gold. 4 of cauldrons, 4 of cups. So this typically is I want to say a card of delay, despondency, distraction, crying over spilled milk. Here we're actually seeing a feast, a depiction of people coming together in celebration, partaking of a delicious concoction that's been made. We're seeing, all of the creatures that are there in service to us and how we are in service to them in those ways. So that's kind of an interesting depiction. Here we have the 5 of cauldrons, 5 of cups. This typically is the card of grief and loss. And what I'm seeing here is the bird is bringing her something. She's reapplying her lipstick, and the bird is bringing her a gift, the gift of a necklace that's going to match her ensemble. So a bright spot, a silver lining when there is some sadness involved. 6 of cauldrons, 6 of cups. I hope I'm reading it right. Let me just double check. Now that I'm doing this, I want to make sure that I am reading the cauldrons as, chalices, cups. Okay. So 6 of cauldrons here. This is typically read as a card of nostalgia, looking back at the past. And here she's got a backpack. She's by herself. She's got these 2 little frogs around her. There's a cauldron that's overturned, spilled over, and she's got her focus on this backpack. And we don't really know what is in the backpack. We're not even seeing her expression here. We just know that she's exploring something. And here we have 7 of cups, 7 of cauldrons. This typically is a card of choice, decision, dreams, and illusions. And perhaps there is something going on here where, they're all together to hang out. She's coming over here, and now all of a sudden she's meeting a creature that she didn't intend to meet. Could it be a dream? Could it be an illusion? Because the other 2 don't seem to notice what the experience is over here that she is having. So dreams and illusions is what I'm feeling is depicted here. 8 of cauldrons. This is typically a letting go, a release, a walking away, moving into something new. Here she's got a little doll. I don't know if she's getting ready to put the doll, and it looks like a Groot from, that's the Marvel movies from Guardians of the Galaxy. It looks like a little Groot. So I don't know if that was on purpose or not. I mean, it wasn't around in 2003, so I imagine that's just kind of a coincidence. But here we have this doll. Maybe she's putting the doll in. Maybe she's bringing the doll to ask questions and see what this individual is cooking up. You know, inquiry, curiosity, asking those questions. What is coming next? They're in a cave, so they are protected and surrounded. There is light and you know, maybe the sunrise or the sunset, depending on how you view that, outside, and they're preparing something for that. So this is definitely a deck that I will be using very intuitively rather than relying solely on the system of tarot, because the cards are a little bit different. Cauldrons. So 9 of Cauldrons, 9 of Cups. This is typically a card of wishes fulfilled. I'm definitely feeling here that there's a lot of abundance, a lot of wishes fulfilled. Although, you know, sometimes we get our wishes that come true, but they don't always come true in exactly the way we think they're going to come true. So, you know, if she was manifesting, you know, a cauldron of fruit, I bet she was not manifesting that all of the fruit would tumble out of the cauldron and be spread all over the ground, and she would have to go and pick it all up off the ground, right? So it's not so much a be careful what you wish for, as much as I feel that this is a reminder, a warning even, to really pay attention to your words. Words matter. Words are important, and the way that we put the words out and the energy that we attach to those words matters, because then that's exactly what we're going to manifest. 10 of Cauldrons, 10 of Cups. So this is that ideal outcome. And here she is, you know, in her structure, in her home environment. The cauldron is on the, you know, there's a soup boiling on the fire, or a potion boiling on the fire. The home fire is burning. She's doing some laundry here. Actually, no, it looks like she's crocheting or knitting something. Out the window, she's smiling, she's happy, it's a beautiful day. So even though she's not able to necessarily do this outside because she's got a bunch of different things that she's got to do, she's still connecting to nature. So there's a lot of peace here, and these little bluebells, flowers are there, symbolizing spring and lightness, lightheartedness. Here we have a celebration of cauldrons. Interesting. So perhaps the celebration. Okay, so we've got a celebration of cauldrons, moon of cauldrons, goddess of cauldrons, trial of cauldrons. Interesting. So celebration is the page. So this is the Page of Cups. And I like that there's a partnership here, giving that feeling of we're working together. But there are 2 of us sort of not becoming one, but working as one. To create or work towards a common goal. Moon of Cauldrons, so the Knight of Cups. And here there is, you know, a love offering being made. And I get the impression that she's the knight, not him, because she's holding the cup. She's making the offering. And it looks like he is open to receiving that offering. Goddess of Cauldrons, so Queen of Cups. Definitely looks very much like a Queen of Cups. Also looks very similar to, I would say, an empress, you know, with the bounty, the harvest, all of the food and the different colors of the food coming in. She's wearing yellow, gold energy, and, you know, that identity energy, and the truth, and the sun, and the light. And she's got all of her, you know, her friends. She's got the Mr. Lizard and the snake and the 2 mice here as well, and she's sharing her harvest and her bounty. She's very happy. Trial. This is interesting. The Trial of Cauldrons. So this would be representative of the King of Cups energy. And I like that they are all in ritual. They're all in lockstep with one another. They're all in ritual. There's a purpose. And I feel that there's an intention that's been set here, and they're all very focused on that intention. Ace of Boulders, so Ace of Pentacles, Boulders is Pentacles, and here we have the scroll. So Ace of Pentacles typically is planting of a seed, and now here we're not planting anything, but she's got a recipe. So she's got a plan to create a thing. and she's got a bag of resource, maybe it's gold dust or fairy dust, on her lap. So she's getting ready to manifest something. And I feel that that's how they're approaching that seed planting concept. Two of boulders, two of pentacles. So here we are having a disagreement, and this looks very uncomfortable, actually, this particular disagreement. He looks angry because maybe she has spurned his advances a little bit. This looks either a little violent, or he got angry and she started to fall back and now he's trying to catch her, or they're fighting over this necklace. There's definitely a disagreement here. Let me just double check and make sure that this isn't, no, I'm right. It's pentacles. Because I was going to say this could also be swords energy with that conflict that's happening, but nope, it is pentacles. So off balance. Where in your relationships are you off balance? Three of boulders, three of pentacles. This is typically a card of collaboration, but also paying attention to the details. And that's what I'm seeing here. That she's standing on, the sort of a cliff edge or the jut of rock out of a mountain. And she is focusing her energy, paying attention to the details of what is coming up. Four of boulders, four of pentacles. So four of pentacles typically is like a card of greed, lack, scarcity, protection, buried treasure. And here I feel like he's trying to protect himself. We've got the four birds, different kinds of birds, actually, or three ravens, three blackbirds, and then a vulture here. And he's under this little structure. The structure looks like it's falling apart a little bit. Maybe the birds are trying to chip away at it, but he is trying to protect himself. So I definitely feel a lot of that protection energy, and also trying to hide. Five of boulders, five of pentacles. So this tends to be a card of anxiety. We're clearly not seeing any anxiety here at all. In fact, I see these two individuals coming together. And it kind of has that feeling of like maybe the first kiss, that you had the first kiss and now maybe this is like the second kiss immediately after the first kiss, because it becomes more passionate, more connected. They're in a circle of support. So that's really interesting. Six of boulders, so six of pentacles is typically a card of reinvestment, generosity, reciprocity. What's interesting here is it looks like she was on top of the jut of rock and now she's falling. I'm feeling here like it's going back to the basics or coming back to nature. Here you were above, now it's time to integrate that frequency and that energy. Now, I hate the fact that she's falling, obviously, but if you're going to get that in a reading, what would that messaging give you? Where are you following? Where are you not paying attention? Is there no reciprocity? Have you lost the balance with yourself and nature, with yourself and source? Seven of boulders, seven of pentacles. So this is usually reaping rewards. And I find it fascinating that we have a waterfall here. So she's near a waterfall. She's holding some kind of mushroom. She's eating a bit of the mushroom. I don't know whether the mushroom is poisonous or not, but she's kind of nourishing herself at this point. There's not a lot of other mushroom around her at this time, but at least she's got what she needs for now. Eight of boulders, eight of pentacles. And so we have here work, effort, fine-tuning, mastering your craft, fine-tuning what you've created. So going above and beyond the basics. Now you are bedazzling something. You're taking it to the next level. I think it's interesting that they're spray painting. Here we have the nine of boulders, nine of pentacles. And so this is a card of gratitude. And here they are expressing it's gratitude. And it's also that perseverance, the work and the effort that you put into learning a skill, mastering your craft. Now it's use that to give others pleasure, to give others joy, to share your masterpiece with others. And that's what I feel is happening here. a little drum circle. 10 of boulders, 10 of pentacles, legacy. And it's interesting. It's like she's finally coming to her legacy. It's like her first house that she's purchasing, maybe for the first time. And this is a new journey that she's getting ready to start, and she's earned it, and she's happy to be here. And she's recognizing that there are a lot of places to go and grow from this established foundation. Here we have the celebration of boulders, so the Page of Pentacles. I love that there's all of the jewel, and he's kind of a little bit of a magician. He's rolling the dice. He's got his little magic sticks. So, the magician coming through here. Here we have the Moon of Boulders, the Knight of Pentacles. Slow and steady gets you to the top or to the bottom. Goddess of Boulders, the Queen of Pentacles. Wow, look at all the snakes. She's watering the snakes, or putting water on the snakes. I feel like she's giving back. She's giving back. She's not afraid of the snakes. Instead, she's working with the snakes. Trial of Boulders. Oh, so there's some branding going on here. So this is that King of Pentacles energy. Typically, it's everything you touch turns to gold. Having all of your resources and your needs met. This is feeling a little harem-y, a little, I want to say, like the pimp and the sex workers here. So that's kind of an interesting depiction, that he's got all the things that he needs. But in order to have what he needs or what he wants, he's taking away the identity of others. Interesting. This would make a great deck for a reading, especially if you've got some interpersonal things that you're wanting to get some specifics around. Ace of Flames, Ace of Wands. So we've got some trash here on the side, trash cans. She's got an incense burner. We see the circle of stones here that are coming through. And that Ace of Flames, I always say, is inspired action. So she's been inspired by something, and now she's going to take action to make it happen. Two of Flames, Two of Wands energy. And so Two of Wands is a card of direction. Now we're seeing here that there is definitely some conflict here. They are disagreeing on a direction where they want to go. Passions are heated. There's anxiety, that is happening here, that is occurring here between the two of them. Three of Flames, Three of Wands is expansion. And I love that one of them is on their dragon, the other one is on the frog. I don't feel that there's conflict here as much as it is a meeting. They're coming together to meet. Hey, great to see you. I've been waiting for you to show up. Welcome to the bog. We're happy to have you. Four of Flames, Four of Wands. And Four of Wands, interesting. This looks more like Four of Swords because it's like a card of rest. Four of Wands here is typically seen as like a graduation, a celebration of sorts, establishment of a foundation, moving to the next level. I'm feeling more Four of Swords energy here. So she's taken a bit of a rest. Maybe she's used a lot of her creative energy, and she just needs to rest and breathe first so that she doesn't burn out. So I would not be reading that in the traditional format. Five of Flames, Five of Wands. So this is typically a card of focus or scattered energies. It's also a card of training. What are you training for? What are you learning to do? I think it's interesting that we've got the Aries represented here. And the Aries is a springtime, getting things new, initiation of things. So I do feel that there is a little bit of training or teaching going on here, an initiation of sorts. Six of Flames, Six of Wands. This is typically a card of victory. Sometimes it can be the false victory. And what I'm seeing here is it's almost like they were all playing a game of strip poker and she lost. You know, she thought that she was going to be smarter than all of her companions, and maybe she didn't have as much respect for them in the ways that she should have. And so now she's the one who's lost, and they're in the win, and they're in the know. So they're the ones who have the victory. Seven of Wands, very cool. So Seven of Wands is a card of defense. It can also be, I like to say, it's like the Brene Brown card or the Oprah card, where people will come from hundreds of miles and pay exorbitant amounts of money just to be in your light, to be in your energy, to partake of your wisdom, to light their flames with your wisdom, with your flame. And I feel that that's what's happening here, is there's an exchange of energy. Eight of Flames, Eight of Wands, card of swift release. She's releasing her magic. She's releasing her manifestation out into the world. And the frog is turning into a prince, or the prince is turning into a frog, depending on how you're looking at it. So she's spell casting. Nine of Flames, Nine of Wands. So typically this is about control, resilience, the wounded warrior, needing a break, feeling really tired, but continuing to sort of move forward and move on. What I'm feeling here is she's curious. She's doing research. She's trying to get to the bottom of something, to find the answers to something that she needs. And she's looking in ancient places or places that have been overlooked. 10 of Flames, 10 of Wands. So this is typically the rewards and the burdens that go with it. And we're seeing a lot of abundance. These are all the things that they have gathered. And now it almost gives me like a Halloween feeling where they've gone out trick-or-treating and now they're coming back and they're taking a look at all of their spoils and they're going to divvy up the spoils. Here we have the celebration of flames. So the Page of Wands. A very playful dance here. Loving this energy. I love that the donkeys have their little laurel wreaths, beautiful pink laurel wreaths around their heads. We've got a little, an old-fashioned ghetto blaster, old-fashioned portable radio. We're by the campfire dancing around. There are two dancing wherever two or more are gathered. The energy is exponential. Here we have the Moon of Flames, and I love this. So the Knight of Wands, you've got a lot of them coming together. They're having fun by the light of the moon. They're enjoying their quest. Goddess of Flames. So this is the Queen of Wands, and here she has her idea and she's working towards her idea. She has the resources that she needs. She's spinning the yarn to make the resource to create the blanket that she's decided to make. And here we have the Trial of Flames, the King of Wands energy. And it's interesting that they're getting bombarded by snow and rain. Very interesting contrast. One's got the light, the other one is shielding, blocking things. So one is more exposed but has the light to see where things are going. The other one is blocked, isn't getting they're not getting wet, they're not getting pelted by rain and hail and snow. But it's like two halves of the whole. That's really interesting. And Ace of Broomsticks. And so Broomsticks is swords energy. So we have Ace of Swords, new thought, inspired thought. And we have a little jackrabbit here who's looks like he's got his eyes closed. He's cleaning himself off. She's offering him an apple. Here we have Two of Broomsticks, Two of Swords. Clearly there is a decision that's needing to be made here, discussion that's happening, working with energy. There's a bunch of apples over here. What are they really focusing on? Three of Broomsticks, Three of Swords. So this is typically a card of heartbreak, betrayal. And you can see a little bit of that. They're angry with one another. They're having a disagreement and they're going in different directions. Four of Broomsticks, Four of Swords. She's around all of the mice. Her broomstick has broken. This feels very much like a card of grief, a card of loss. This is when we saw the Four of Cups, I said it reminded me more of the Four of Swords than it did the Four of Cups. And this feels to me more like Four of Cups than the Four of Swords. So I feel that those energies are reversed. Four of Swords typically is a card of truce, taking a rest, relaxing, recharging, getting out of the head and into the heart space. Here, what we're seeing is she's crying because the broom is broken. It's a forced rest. It's a forced break. And not one that she's particularly happy about. But she's not alone. And if she looks around, she can get support. Five of broomsticks, Five of swords. So this is a card of conflict. Now, what I'm seeing here is this feels a little more like grief, loss, frustration. The bag is broken with all the things that she needed in it. Oh no, what is she going to do now, right? Could be grief as well, where it's like, I had all these things because these were the things that I needed in order to do the thing that I needed to do, and now I can't do it. So loss at that, feeling defeated. Six of broomsticks, Six of swords, support and grace. And I feel like she's getting ready to walk across the bridge. The bridge is that support. It's going to take her from one place to another, and in a balanced way. It's going to help her. So she's moving in a new direction. Here we have the Seven of broomsticks, the Seven of swords. This is a card of integrity. And so what we're seeing here actually is two individuals that are collaborating, working together to create a braid of these materials. So I don't feel that there is there are any problems here with integrity. This feels more like a card of strategy. Thank you for your help. Two of us together, was a better strategy, a better plan than one of us trying to, braid all of this all by ourselves. Eight of broomsticks, Eight of swords. So Eight of swords typically is a card of entrapment. And what we're seeing here is two individuals working together to move the obstacle out of the way. Typically, we see it as one person feeling trapped, amongst a number of swords. But here we're actually seeing help, getting assistance. Support from source energy, motivation to move the blockage, to face and tackle the blockage head on, to face that sword head on. Nine of broomsticks, or Nine of swords. And I love this here. So this is a card typically of anxiety, and what a great depiction. It's kind of being in a nightmare and then waking from the nightmare only to discover that you're still in the nightmare. And that's what this feels like. He looks kind of like a scary, nightmarish figure. And she kind of, comes to and realizes, oh crap, no, he's still here. But I also feel this energy of she's being taught something. She's being checked. She's being brought into alignment, kind of a checkup from the neck up happening here. 10 of broomsticks, 10 of swords. So complete and utter ruin, the absolute ending of something. So here the bird has taken her broomstick away. So how is she going to get to where she needs to go? She's only going to be able to walk, which means it's going to take her a lot longer. It's going to be a lot farther for her to go. So the end of something in the way that you thought it was going to happen or occur. Celebration of broomsticks. So this is the Page of swords. A lot of curiosity here, a lot of communication. Here they've got these jack-o'-lanterns. They're all together in a group, but this one clearly is the leader. And I feel just this energy of follow the leader. She's getting ready to do something, and they're all getting ready to follow her. Moon of broomsticks. So Knight of swords. Knight of swords often has that, I want to say, that energy of impulsivity, wanting to get somewhere, all in, let's do this thing. Let's get the thing done before we necessarily know what the plan is. And, she's naked here. And so I feel like there wasn't a ton of forethought in, like, she just rushed out to work her magic and to do whatever she needed to do, not preparing in advance for the fact that she might actually need something. She might need some clothing, or, again, impulsivity, I feel, is what's being shown here. Goddess of broomsticks. So this is the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is all about boundaries, and I feel like she's in a protection mode here. She's got protection, and she is protecting herself, or is a protector herself, is what I meant to say. And Trial of Broomsticks, or the King of Swords. And here we have this grouping of witches coming together. It looks like she's trying to help the donkey. There must be something on the donkey's back, the donkey's tail, and she's trying to help the donkey. They're all looking at maybe an injury that the donkey has, and they're trying to help the donkey out. They've put all of their broomsticks down in order to be able to assist and to help out. And there's intelligence behind it. There's thoughtfulness behind it. And I feel like that's what this is representing, is thoughtfulness. Okay, so that is our Witchy Tarot. And in true Stacey style, we are going to shuffle these up, and we're going to pull a card to see how this deck wants to work with you. If you are feeling called to work with this deck, what is the kind of guidance that it's going to give you? Oh, okay. So here we have the Celebration of Broomsticks, which is the Page of Swords. And so I feel like it's going to give you a curious perspective on what you're looking at, a curious perspective on the guidance and the information. It's never going to leave you alone. It's never leaving you high and dry. Anything that it shares with you that you decide to do, you're going to have companions, or you're going to have source energy that is going to support what you're doing. It's important to follow your own lead, to trust in your own, I want to say, intuition, your own guidance, your own desires. Because follow the leader is not always going to be hugely successful either. So be your own leader. And I feel like this deck is always going to give you messages that encourage you to stand in what is my truth, what is it that I'm needing, what is it that I'm feeling into at this time. Wow. Okay, guys. So that is our Witchy Tarot and our episode of Divinely Decked. Really enjoyed connecting with you guys in this way to share this fabulous deck with you. I hope you enjoyed it. Can't wait to see you on the next one. Until we meet each other again, I'm going to say have an amazing day. Love and support to all of you. We will see you on the flip side, and transform well. That's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. It was great to connect with you guys. Please like, subscribe, and comment for more content like this. And feel free to follow me on Blue Sky for even more content every single day. Can't wait to see you guys next week for another installment of Black Feather Couture, Divining the VIP Life.